When I first read the story of Jesus, I was just about 12 years of age or less, and I had suffered severe depression after reading. I was traumatized because I had read the story like an action movie, and in action movies, heroes never died, and even when it sometimes appeared like they did, they always come back for revenge. Vengeance, in fact, was the climax, the grand spice to any action movie. In my day, we watched a lot of these films. We were used to watching men like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Van Damme, men who were not particularly monstrous in appearance, yet were so skilled, so deadly, they could destroy other men 10 times their size without effort. So powerful, they would pick a fight with the mob and win. Jackie Chan was my favorite, the way he would fight, seemingly with his life on the line, and still have the time for humor. He was my much celebrated Joko warrior. But Jesus had been unique. He was completely different from these men. He was a man who never needed his hands or legs or guns to destroy an army. His mouth was deadly enough a weapon. A man who never needed an earthly father to be born. A man who spoke commands to the storm and it understood. When he touched dead men, they sprang back to life, and his words were wisdom even to the oldest of the old. Yet Jesus was simple, so unbelievably simple, so that as I continued to read the story, Jesus had become for me the perfect hero I never knew I wanted to be. I admired that quality of him that lodged a balance between greatness and simplicity, between power and charity. I had felt the sublime thrill of finding precious gold beneath deep waters, even as a child. It was indeed a most golden sensation. But later on in the story, everything had turned sour for me when unworthy men, Roman soldiers, and Frey Pharisee leaders had conspired against Jesus, and instead of reacting in fury, he had allowed them to seize him without putting up a fight. He had done nothing, absolutely nothing. I was dazed. At first, I assumed he was bluffing. Perhaps he was waiting for that magical moment. Perhaps he was just gathering momentum, just like Jet Li and Jackie Chan. Perhaps he was waiting for the last fight, when he would finally unleash his rage and his vengeance on these effeminate men, these sons of dogs. So I calmed myself and waited in suspense. But Jesus simply did nothing, said nothing. They flogged him, beat him to pulp, made fun of him, but he did nothing. Finally, they nailed him to the cross like a criminal and crowned him with thorns. Still, Jesus did nothing. When he opened his mouth, all he asked for was forgiveness. Forgiveness for the same man that had killed him. And I had gasped. My blood boiled. My fingers quivered. Maybe he didn't really mean it, I thought. Maybe he was just sorry for the calamity that would befall these men. So, again, patiently, I waited for his resurrection. And indeed, after 3 days, he arose just like he prophesied. and my eyes flashed with hope. Woe betide these soldiers, finally, I yelled in my heart, waiting for their destruction. But still, Jesus did nothing. All he did was promise both his guilty killers and innocent sympathizers like me the same thing. He said he was with us all, even to the end of time. Despite all they did to him, before him, we were all equal. I closed my Bible and felt a tide of trauma becloud my senses, even as a child. For many days, I could not sleep well, nor think right. I wanted to know what his message was. Why had he suddenly lost his voice, his power? Why had he promised us all the same thing? I gnashed my teeth, and for months I avoided going back to that story. Until many years later, I realized that what I had read as a child was never an action movie, but a love story. We were all guilty of the same crime. We all crucified Jesus. We still do. It dawned on me that those so-called horrible soldiers and I were guilty of the same sin. We were all the same. But Jesus loved too much, and his love was helplessly blind. It was why he had refused to talk, because he had refused to see, casting a veil over all his offenders. It was a story on the blindness of love, a story of an ultimate hero, an ultimate lesson, which taught that the true hero is not one who is ever ready to express hate and destroy, but one who loves without condition. He is not one who is quick to anger and vengeance, but one who forgives to a fault. So, I had gone back to reading that story, that book, and whenever I go through the pages again, I feel something close to grace.